So let's look ahead to round 2 of the Rugby World Cup. And I think it's fair to say quite a few fixtures in this round are going to be teams rotating players, getting them into the World Cup because they're not going to feel part of the World Cup until they get on that pitch. Ireland, however, do seem to be dry running almost their best team, looking ahead to those massive Pool B fixtures, so that'll be interesting to see how they go. But I think there's going to be quite a few fairly comfortable wins in this week's games. England-Japan, I think, could be close, but the one big game of the weekend is Australia-Fiji. I don't think you can argue that too much. That's the one that the neutrals are going to be looking forward to, and of course, Australian and Fijian fans. For Fiji, lots of jeopardy. If they lose, because they've just lost against Wales, they are probably out of this World Cup. They're not going through to those quarterfinals. And they know they've probably got the best team they've ever had. So that's a big deal. They've got loads of tries in the bag for sure, but they do need to play a little bit smarter. I think get themselves in position first before they strike. But goodness me, they're so dangerous. And Australia, a good win against Georgia. I think there's so much talent in that team. I couldn't call it. Maybe Australia slight favourites, but it's an absolute belter. I mean, for the neutral, Fiji winning would definitely make that pool just absolutely fascinating because we could have, some draws going down to bonus points, if you like. So that's going to be interesting. The other big news, injuries. Always going to happen in the World Cup, but Malcolm Marx is not someone South Africa want to lose. One of their best players, some say their best player. I guess the good news is they've got a great starter that can come in Bongi Mbonambi, fantastic player, but what you can't have is that 1-2 hit. Whoever starts, you obviously can't bring on the other now. So Malcolm Marx out, Mbonambi is the main man, who I think will do an amazing job. Fari, a part-time hooker, so not the ideal situation. Surely they're going to call up De Weber? I don't know, hasn't been fully trusted in the past. Fans aren't fully sure, so that's a tricky one. Can they get through it? Yes, but it definitely leaves them a little bit weaker, and definitely their bomb squad may be a little less explosive. And another hooker, goodness me, it's not a good day for hookers. Dave Cherry of Scotland, concussion, just an injury in the hotel on the stairs, I think. That's a bit of a shocker, but lucky for them, Stuart McAnally, very, very experienced hooker for Scotland, can come straight back in or straight into the side. So that's not quite as dangerous, not quite as damaging as the Malcolm Marx thing. Now, let's have a look at some of these teams that are out, and they're coming out thick and fast, so I'm going to do my best. I'm probably not going to go through the French team because they may well be playing or have finished playing by the time this video is out, but great news that Gelange is back fit after that long-term injury, and I think he's the captain, so that's great news for him. I think they're going to win fairly comfortably. So let's start with that Springboks team to face Romania. And goodness me, it's exciting. So many quick, exciting backs, especially in this team. And of course, 4 scrum halves, all 4 scrum halves they picked for the World Cup. Some coaches talk innovation. Rassie Erasmus does it. They've done the 7-1 split before, and of course he's done the lights from the stands in the last game and messages coming on all over the place, so he definitely pushes the envelope. And look at this back line. Cobus Reinach, he's getting on a bit, but he's still one of the quickest around. Probably the quickest scrum half around. Grant Williams is indeed employed on the wing. Then at 13, we've got, an outside back, Kanan Moody, who does play 13, but goodness me, he's quick for a 13. And when you think Creel is the other 13, as a pair, they're probably the quickest pairing 13s in the World Cup. Of course, Rico Ioane is quick, but as a pair, those two, I think, would take it. Esterhuizen and Diolande, what a powerful pairing. So maybe they have the most powerful pairing and the quickest outside centre pairing. So it's fantastic. Can't wait to see those centres go. And of course we've got Mapimpi, who's always great for South Africa. Leroux, who's seriously competing hard for his shirt against Willemse, who this time starts at 10, who I imagine will kick as well. Sometimes can be a bit off with his kicking. South African fans definitely told me I was being a bit harsh on Libbok because some of his misses last game were hard kicks, so that's fair enough. But certainly this game, I think the kicking might be a little bit woolly, but I don't think it's going to matter at all. And then the pack, we see Vermeulen coming in. He's going to have to really step it up because Visa was amazing last match. Quagga Smith, everyone's favourite Quagga. Then Marco van Staden, open side there. In the Boiler House, we've got Jean Klein and Ori. And of course, with Etzebeth injured for a bit, maybe Klein can get into the 23, their best 23. Koch gets a run out, and Bonambi is the main man now. He's the captain. And Unche, who's been scrummaging amazingly, is the loose head. Then on the bench, of course, we have Furry covering hooker, so he's going to need some game time for sure. Then we've got 2 more scrum halves. Hendricks looks like he's the replacement scrum half, and Faf de Klerk is the replacement fly half. So we're probably going to see those guys on and de Klerk in at 10, so that'll be exciting as well. So can't wait for that game just for the spectacle, seeing those 4 scrum halves. Let me know what you think of that team. Let's talk about the All Blacks. New Zealand against Namibia. Namibia, they got pretty well stuffed by Italy in their first game, so I think it's going to be a bit of the same in this game, although I'm sure they will go down fighting. New Zealand team, well, it's all about Sam Whitelock. He equals Richie McCaw's record for total number of caps, and of course it looks like he's going to break that, so congratulations to him. They're trying Jacobson again at 6 because they've still got injuries there. Papali'i moves to 7, so he's been moved around quite a lot. Sam Cane still not recovered from injury. In the backs, we've got a very exciting halfback pairing, Roygaard and McKenzie. I think they will actually have a field day here. Roygaard's such a quick player, such a powerful scrum half, and McKenzie's just a genius. I'm sure he'll create loads. Watch out for Firecracker Fainganuku on one wing. Havili and Leonard Brown, very skillful. I'm still not sure they've got the absolute attacking edge of some other centres in the tournament. Then Clark on one wing, Bowden Barrett, the only guy I think to retain there at full back. So I think they can have a really good win and get themselves some confidence after their first round loss. And then on to Wales against Portugal. Portugal, an exciting team, so I think it's going to be a really open game actually. Loads of pace in this Welsh side. Reece Ammett and Dyer, super quick on the wings. Halfpenny, I'm guessing, is going to be kicking the goals, but maybe Anscombe will, I don't know. Then we've got Lake as the captain, obviously the joint captain with Morgan, but Lake's been injured. Young Schwinzer is in the second row. Of course, he can play back row as well, and he's alongside, I think, the youngest player for Wales, Jenkins, so a very, very young second row pairing, exciting for the future. In the first game, we saw a very experienced Welsh team, and now we're seeing a lot for the future. I mean, we've got Grady there at 13, a huge 13, so I think it's going to be a really exciting game, loads of tries, Costello to come on, I think he'll do well as well, so should be a good win for Wales, so they should be 2 from 2, building some momentum. Then the final team I'm going to look at is the Irish team to face Tonga. Tonga, I think it's fair to say, a step up compared to Romania, and we see Ireland fielding pretty much their full strength team, trying to get everyone on the same page so they can hit those huge games in Pool B running. Porter, Furlong, their starters. Byrne, Ryan, for me, their starters. And again, for me, I think that's their starting back row, with Omani playing 6 this time instead of 7. Josh van der Fleer 7, Caelan Doris 8. Conan still injured. Murray may not be their starting 9. In fact, I don't think he will be. Gibson Park should be. Sexton, he'll play again to get some game time in, but probably he'll go off fairly early if it's looking comfortable. And I think a lot of starters will come off fairly early to protect them for those big games to come. I think Aki and Ringrose are absolutely looking their number 1 pairing. Of course, Henshaw's still fantastic, but I can't see him breaking into this at the moment. And that is their best back 3. Lowe, Handsome, Keenan. We know it's a great combination, a bit of everything. So they should have, I think, a good win against Tonga, but they'll have a good workout. They'll try and hopefully come away from that game without any major injuries. Rest some of those guys fairly early, so they'll be well set. So let me know what you think of all those teams for round 2. Which are the games you're looking forward to? I think it's absolutely Australia, Fiji for me, the standout. If Fiji lose, they're out. 2 high quality, talented teams going at it. Anyway, pop all those comments below. Love to know what you think about round 2. It could be a slightly quieter round compared to some of the others, but definitely building very nicely. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time.